may not have made it to the live class. All right, so I've asked you to have your Common App open as well as Naviance. That means you need to make sure that you have a Common App account. You should have a Naviance account automatically set up for you by the school, but you do need to set up the Common App on your own. I also ask that you have Google Classroom open. So remember, we're going to be polite. We'll ask questions in the chat first. Say excuse me when interrupting and ask questions with the mic. During class discussions or question and answer sessions, you can use the chat or unmute to respond to questions freely. Don't use language that makes anyone else feel less valued or important, and be an active participant in class activities. Some announcements and reminders. Please remember that the Q1 cutoff date is midnight on Thursday of this week. That is just a couple days away. We will not accept any late work after that time. We have to put grades in. Your grades have been updated overnight. We've been grading all day today as well. The things that have been turned in late or within the last 24 hours in some cases. So you're going to need to know how to check your grades and make some comparisons. I will show you how to do that here in a second. Also, if there is anything that you would like to do to try to improve your grade, please submit a do-over request. You can pretty much redo any assignment, make improvements to just about anything to try and improve your grade. So with that being said, let me put this on notes version now. There. We're going to follow this agenda today. You're going to check your progress. I'm going to show you how to do that. Then we're going to talk about FERPA and the Common App and Naviance, because 99% of the time, if somebody is coming to us with a question about something in Naviance, it's because they have not filled out a FERPA form, and I'll tell you what that is in a few minutes. And then we're going to go over any questions that you have about applying to college. And as usual, I'm going to remind you that the deadline for merit scholarships is midnight on October 31st. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't see why any of you would not qualify for a merit scholarship from most of the schools of your choice. Also, there are a lot of people who don't meet this deadline. So if you do get your stuff in on time like this, your chances of getting a merit scholarship are also a lot better, because a lot of people don't hit that deadline and then they shoot themselves in the foot moving forward. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and go over to Google Classroom. This is why I asked everybody to have their Google Classroom open. I am logged in as a student, actually as a student who is no longer enrolled. So you're going to see that they have a lot of missing work, and that's because they're not enrolled in our classes anymore. So it's kind of hard to do work for a school that you're not going to anymore. So we won't judge them. We're just using their account so that I can show you how to do this. So when you click on Google Classroom, the first thing I want you to do is go up to classwork. And here you're going to see all the things that you normally see when you go into Classroom, including all the links for our materials, classroom link, our agenda for the week and assignments and things like that. One quick way that you can go through things, and you probably have been doing, is kind of scrolling through and looking for the things that maybe aren't grayed out or still in a darker color and using those as your guide. But that doesn't always work, okay? Sometimes those are things that aren't necessarily graded or are materials, things like that. So what you're going to do, and you can do this from your phone as well, it's slightly different from your phone. When you're on classwork, whether you're on a tablet or your phone or on the computer, you're going to look for this icon right here. It looks kind of like an ID badge. On a computer, it will say view your work next to it. On a tablet or on your phone, it won't say that. It'll just have that little ID badge. All right. So I want you to locate that little ID badge, and then you're going to click on it. And what's going to happen is it's going to then take you to a page for class that shows you what your overall percentage is on the work that you've turned in. So you can see that this person, like I said, wasn't enrolled for very long. So that's part of why I stole their thing, because they're going to have lots of missing assignments because they're not actually a student. So you can then look at the list of all of the assignments that are posted there, and it will tell you a lot of different information, including the fact that an assignment might be missing, or what your score was on an assignment. So you see, like, for example, a 0 out of 10, or you might have a 50 out of 100 on your This I Believe essay, something along those lines. So here's the nice thing about this list. Not only is this a list of all of your assignments and the grades so that you can check it against what's posted on Infinite Campus, or its status as to whether or not it has been graded, but it also is a link to each one of those assignments. Okay? So when you click on it, you can see there that I could then go in and view assignment details and go complete that assignment. All right. All of the instructions will be there for it. So I can just click on it, go into the instructions, complete the assignment, and then go back and keep using that. If it doesn't show you an overall percentage, don't worry about that. I'm probably going to be turning that off in all of the classrooms anyway, because we are going to continue using Google Classroom moving forward through Q2 and 3 and 4. And if I don't turn that off, what happens is you're not going to have a realistic overall percentage. Okay. That percentage is going to change as we add and add new work. Okay. So I will leave all of these assignments in here. So when we go to Q2, and here's where you're going to have to be kind of smart about things. I'm going to make a assignment that will have like 1 point to it, and then just go and give everybody 1 point through the thing. But it's basically going to give you guys like a dividing line in here between what is first quarter, which is everything that is up here right now, and what is second quarter. So I could actually probably go in and put that in, because this Ed Puzzle, the facts about fact checking that you guys got yesterday, is actually going to be a grade that goes into Q2. Okay. That way you'll easily be able to see what work is due for Q1 versus Q2, because after Thursday, we're not going to be accepting any of this missing work from Q1. We're moving on to a new quarter and doing what we need to do to move forward. Okay. So any questions about how to figure out what you're missing? Or what you might need to redo. So remember the do-over form. Hopefully everybody knows where that is. I'm going to go to the main part of our classroom page here. So when you're on classwork and you want to redo something, you need to fill out the do-over form, and you're going to need to know what assignments you want to redo. Pretty much the only thing that's not listed on the do-over form are going to be writing assignments. So you'll fill it out with your name, your class period, and then you're going to tell us what assignment you want to redo. All of these are in alphabetical order, so they're not in any particular order. If you choose something like Harrison Bergeron or the Katie Sowers article, it's going to ask you if you want to redo the whole thing or if you just want to redo like the annotations, that kind of thing. So do you want to do the quiz or the annotations or both? All right, and then when you're done, I get a little email from the form saying that you filled it out so I can go in and undo those things for you so that you can go in and redo them. All right. Any questions about that? How to find your missing work, how to do a do-over request?
I got one.
All right, Nick.
I know. What if you're doing an ed puzzle? Are there multiple questions for that subject?
So the ed puzzles, the only ed puzzles that aren't on there for a do-over are the reteaching ed puzzles. The newest ed puzzle is on there, and your previous ed puzzles are there.
But the fact check is in there.
The fact check one is in there.
Okay, I'm gonna have to redo that. But that's going
to go on quarter 2. So you can request a do-over on that one as well. All right. Great. Also, you're going to get a new ed puzzle tomorrow to complete. I remember what that one's name. I believe that one's called lateral reading. So you'll have that one tomorrow as well. And that will also be added to the sheet tomorrow, since that will be a new one for you. All right. So we're now going to go back to our agenda. So we've done the check your progress. Now we're going to talk about the FERPA and the Common App / Naviance issues that everyone is having. So the most common issue that everyone keeps telling me that they're having is that they go to sync up Naviance with their Common App and they're getting an error. It's saying that something is wrong, or it's telling you that you have to fill out a FERPA first, and you're not entirely sure what that means. So I've asked for some support with this. All I've gotten back is written instructions that I can't really test out because I don't have student account on both ends of this. So what I did is I created a student account for my husband for Common App. And I did this because then I don't have to put in like 15 different colleges like I would have to do for myself. All right, maybe it's not 15, but it's still a lot more than just one. So what I've done is I've used the college search tool here to find 2 schools and just add them in. I don't need to have 2 schools in here. I only need to have 1 in order to do the FERPA thing and get it to sync up. But what you're going to need to do is actually fill out the entire application for one of these, okay? So you have to fill out your full Common App side of this, and then you have to go into My Colleges and fill out whatever extra questions are for that one particular school. So, for example, if I was doing Kent State, because that is a common one, I've noticed that a lot of people are saying that they are interested in Kent State. I would fill out the information here. And then one of the last things that it will ask me for, you'll see, is recommendations from FERPA, but I have to fill out the rest of the information first in order to get to it. FERPA is basically the same form that you fill out when you go to the doctor's office. And you give permission for them to share your information with like your insurance company so that they can bill them properly. It's not the exact same form. FERPA actually stands for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. So when you go to the doctor's office, you're filling out like a medical version of the same kind of thing. But that's what you're doing. You're giving them permission. You're giving Common App permission to share your personal information with those colleges, but also with Naviance. So you need to complete all of those steps for one college on Common App in order for you to be able to sync up the two websites. Okay. So any questions about FERPA and Common App / Naviance that I can attempt to answer?
Yes, clarification.
Okay.
So basically, you can't sync up both this and Naviance unless you fill out this form.
Exactly. That's
Oh.
at least this is like the information I have been given by Mr. Rasul.
So if I filled this part out, do that mean I signed up for it?
All right, so if you fill out the application on Common App, you haven't actually submitted the application unless you go and click on submit application. So like Kent State, I think charges you
I did.
$35, $40 for an application.
I submitted 2 applications already.
Okay.
I'm talking about for the FERPA. If I filled out
All right.
this part, does that mean I signed up for it?
If you filled out all of the fields for that college, then you should have signed the FERPA thing. It would be like an electronic signature, basically saying, I agree with this and continue.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so any other questions? Also, some of you have said, I've applied to colleges, but I don't know what to do to show you I've applied. When you go in and you're under my colleges, I don't know why it's not showing it. Because it was doing it before. Maybe it's in our dashboard. Okay, when you're on your dashboard in Common App, you see how mine says application in progress here? When you have submitted it, it will say submitted. So you could actually take a screenshot of this page with that little sign that says submitted there and turn that in as your proof of an application submitted. Okay.
So you're telling me I could have submitted this?
Yeah, you could have submitted this.
Wow.
Mind blower, huh? But it has to say that it has actually been put in. I've gotten a couple emails this week asking for clarification about what to do if you're not finished with an application because you're working on this with Avid. I'm going to tell you that you need to really pressure your Avid instructors to help you get at least 1 or 2 of them, especially for schools that you're very interested in, done by Thursday, since we don't have school Friday, so that you have these ready to turn in so that you can meet that deadline for the merit scholarships on Saturday. Because that's not a deadline that I've come up with. It's not one that Mr. Rasul came up with. That is a national deadline that was agreed upon by pretty much every single university in the United States, that's the date that they're going to cut everybody off and say that after this point, we're not going to consider you for a merit scholarship. So basically, you're kissing free money goodbye for sure if you don't hit that deadline. Okay. All right, so any other questions about applying to a college or anything like that? Okay, well then I'm going to remind you that I think your class is pretty good on it, but there's still a few people who have not finished it. There is a Q1 remote learning survey. Ms. Narduzzi and I are trying to collect some information from everybody about what we're doing that is working, what we're doing that may not be working, things that we need to do to help you guys to do better, everything like that. So that as we move into Q2, we can continue to make this learning experience as painless as possible for all of us, but also as helpful for everybody as it can be. Even when we eventually return to the classroom, we are not going to be going back full time. We're still going to be using a lot of these online tools. So whether we're remote learning or we're blended learning or we're even back in the classroom 100% of the time, we're going to be using a lot of this stuff. So it's important that if you're struggling with something, you let us know. If there's something that you have found that is particularly helpful, that you like for us to keep doing, that you let us know that so that we don't stop doing that. If there's something specific that is getting in the way of you learning, for example, if you are somebody who has a visual impairment and you like to listen to everything, using different fonts on things, even putting things into italics, sometimes can throw off like the readers that people use. So if that was something, then they should let us know so that we can make sure that they are getting everything they need. So when you fill out that form, please be specific with any feedback that you can give us. One of the things that I was told by first or second period, I think it was second period, is that they would like to see more muffins because muffins would make class better. So you will have noticed that there are a lot more muffins in class now, even though they are all virtual muffins. So with that being said, I believe we've gotten everybody for attendance, right, Ms. Narduzzi? I mean, we're going to get them on the
We
spreadsheet.
have gotten attendance, yes.
All right. I'm going to give you your virtual muffin then and set you free since you guys don't seem to have any other questions. So you can go work on any missing assignments that you need to get done by Thursday. You could work on the Ed puzzle that was assigned yesterday. So that is done for Q2. Or you can go in and start requesting some do-overs on some things to try and improve your grade. Master has presented Dobby with a muffin, and Dobby is free.
Just want to say is this from Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
It's Harry Potter.
Okay, good. Okay.
It's supposed to be a sock, but because, first period wanted more muffins, now it's a muffin.